think about it if you haven't gotten into crypto, given how valueless the dollar is. 283 right now. It feels like 90, but I'm sitting right next to the scope, so it's like a furnace here. But no, honestly, not as bad as I thought. Last solar eclipse was like in 2017. I was getting heat warnings every few minutes, and this is way cooler today, so good. Let's see. I'm just reading some of the comments here. Lots of cool comments. There have been some good videos on Thunderbolts recently. I don't know if I haven't talked about that in a while, but I have been watching, I think it's Matt Finn do all his recent videos, and Stu Talbot still talking about it. Hope Wall Thornhill is having fun in our great unified field, seeing all the answers that he wanted. Rest in peace, Wall. Shoutouts to Rupert and Eileen and all the people hanging out in Texas right now. I think it's the Demystify Science podcast, those guys, and Pierre-Marie Robitaille, Pierre-Marie Robitaille. Everyone just butchers that name. It's so funny. TJ says, do I remember Wilma? Shared your voice. No, but is that your kid maybe? Or, I guess, right? You were saying they really enjoyed the show back in the day. I do. I've gotten a little foggy, getting older, starting to forget some things, overwriting the hard drive, mental hard drives. It was late 2015, Cosmic, and then like mostly actually we really got into it. Remember like the Venus transit or occultation in 2015. Like early 2015 was kind of the big when everyone started to get into it, and I had all the time in the world. Look at this moon. Maybe I'll zoom in here and we can see this this moon creep up right here. There we go. Yeah, look at that. That's cool. That's cool. So rad. I'm always impressed with what we can do, you know. I'm always like, oh, it's going to be terrible and hot and melt, and then we get shots like this, close up with large sunspot with tiny berries next to it, filamentary action, even through just a regular telescope with a front lens. We got the creeping moon to the right, and we're going to basically get this occultation of the sunspot, which is incredible, just absolutely incredible. I'm just, let's see, Estrella says, I'm just excited, a lot of transitions, cycles, switching, retrograde Saturn, yeah, right, there's just, everything is happening this year, it seems like. But I've been ready for it. Like, everyone's like really bummed out during the last years, the bear market and all this stuff, but I've been just ready for 2024 and 25. I discontinued the Nikon P1000, that sucks, but I'm sure you can find a few of those. One thing to note, y'all, just gonna say it, never gonna really ever do, just make sure you ever see any AI on this channel besides thumbnails. I've definitely AI for some thumbnails. And I'll never do AI stuff here. Voice, not music, and not video, of course. It's always been real footage, always been voice, always been real music. Just so you know, if you ever hear that somebody took over my channel, and yeah, I'll never ask for money, donations, likes, or subscribers. And we're entering a really crazy age with AI, so just again, I've told y'all in the past that I'm not going to stream so much anymore. It's one of these things where I've said everything there really is to say, and I don't want to belabor the point, but I will check in from time to time with y'all, especially for like events like this and such, and here a full moon here and there. But yeah, let's see how the years have passed in this digital world. I know, pretty wild, pretty freaking wild. I'm looking at some other stuff. AI is the new parasite. I don't know. I mean, it's both, right? There's always something new coming along, and there's pros and cons, and the more kind of upside, you know, the more benefit there is to something, equally there's an immense amount of downside to it. It's like the volatility in Bitcoin, for example. I kind of have been thinking about that a lot in terms of culture and the contrast of the 90-10 or 80-20 split, you know, the core of the apple and the flesh of the apple, the human body and the human biofield, Earth and its field, Sun and its heliosphere. And on, you see this split in contrast. So the bigger the split, the more you're going to have this kind of push and pull against it. So AI is going to bring these amazing new things, but the downside is that it's also incredibly dangerous and scary. And it's the same with Bitcoin. You know, the volatility is not for many people, but the upside is massive. It's one of those things, like the harder you work, the more it's going to yield in the end, but not everyone can get through all the hard work. Was that a crow? There are a lot, I mean, I gotta say, the birds have been going wild for the last couple of days, just like lots of crows in the hood. Yeah, just this week, out of nowhere, like 3 of them moved in. Let's see. Have I missed anyone else? Loving the shot right here of our sunspot about to be occulted by the moon. It's not very much detail, but you can kind of see a little bit of the irregularity on the rim, the limb of the moon, the LIM of the moon. But truly, it's just a miracle that we really get to see this, and that I get to share it with y'all. I say this every time, but it's truly just an experience to be had. Nasik Chef says, I think that AI is going to kind of start at a renaissance into art being done with your hands, seeing how easy it is to do so digitally. Like, it'll make boring people want something more exciting. It's exciting now, but only for a time. Yeah, the idea of novelty is really important here, because I think people will get over the fact that AI is so powerful and so scary because people revert to the norm. We always want to come back to stasis, even if things freak us out. But the other thing I was going to say is that there's an analogy that I've been making with AI now that I'm really into it, or at least using it for testing purposes, is just that it used to be like this with Squarespace. Like, Squarespace started to make websites really easier than building a WordPress site back in the 2008, 2009 era. And now if you try and build a site with Squarespace, it's extremely complicated. You really need to know how to build a website. So every single tech product that actually starts as a very logical, kind of effective update ends up becoming very bloated. So I know there's this whole fear about art becoming too easy, or anybody can make an image now. But in fact, to make anything good, you still need a lot of skill and time and money to get anything good out of AI, because AI increased the amount of noise, the signal to noise ratio, by 1,000-fold or more, millionfold, right? It used to be that you made an art piece, and because it's human made, you could only iterate it so many times. You just have that much time to do it. Now you can iterate thousands and thousands of images in a single evening, but in order to get something good, you have to do 1,000 images. So you get this interesting contrast where AI has made it much easier to make stuff, but you make so much stuff that you still need to be good at art to be able to curate and make something actually good. So everything comes along with a balance. It's actually a great example of how the universe truly balances itself out, or we balance ourselves out as fractals of the universe. Does that make sense? I know it's a bit long-winded, but that's kind of the point here. So Cosmic says, Bitcoin just pisses me off. I wanted to throw $1,000 in when it was $3.83 a coin. I hate to say cope, but there's never a bad time to buy Bitcoin. But not financial advice, of course. But business was wobbling, and I was stupidly skeptical at the time. Oh well. I think, again, completely not financial advice. I know nothing. Don't follow. Don't do anything I say. But Bitcoin under 100,000 seems relatively cheap if you actually look at a little bit of economics and supply shock and supply demand and the market cycles. Bitcoin could end up being like $200,000-$300,000 asset in the next few years, and also a store of wealth in terms of debasing all the fiat paper currency. So very simple. It makes sense. It does. Sense and sense. It makes many sense. Let's see. What other thing here? Give me one moment. I'm going to take a break. Got to hit the loo, and I'll be right back. so badly. I know, TMI. Yeah, so I'm thinking, like, I might need to actually move the scope. I mean, we got like an hour and a half left of this, but the windowsill, yeah, the door porch thing is really screwing up the view a little bit. But wow, I think we're approaching about, what is it, like 40-something% right here, 42, 43%. Great to see everybody in the chat. As I said, let's see if I'm missing anybody. I see Marky Rizzo, what's going on? Thanks for the comment. I saw your comment earlier, but I was just setting up everything. Like, it took me like 3 hours today to dig everything up that I needed. I was like, where is this goddamn cable? Where is this headset? Levens Lavata says, happy Eclipse Day from Little Rock. Happy Eclipse Day to you. Great to see you. Are you going to look for the devil comet? Well, I have actually. I know Copper Tropical sent me a note about that. I saw that in my notifications today. I've missed everything, so sorry if I never got back to any of y'all's comments. Forgive me. But yeah, I could not get a view of the comet so far. I've been trying, and I will keep trying. And if I get it live, I will go. I mean, if I get it on cam, I will stream. But I'm not sure that's going to be possible. It is an incredible coincidence, of course, that we have one. Mary Quite, love to see you. I'm in the path of totality and it's slowly getting darker. That's amazing. Oh my God, I was thinking about you. I'm so glad you joined us today. How have you been? How's everything going? Ellie, Mary, so good. Ellie, how have you been? I maybe I asked you earlier, but miss my OGs. Let's see. Marky says, I knew you wouldn't miss this. I can't help myself. I always think, oh, whatever, I'm going to miss it, and then I don't. And then I get on. Yeah, Mary, you're going to get crazy, just one of the craziest views imaginable. I love it. Think about the energy that's going around the network of people all feeling this together right now. So we lost our giant sunspot to the moon, and I think we still have another small sunspot here, so the view is a little bit rough, I know, but it's still fine because it's not overheating. You can see some nice detail, so I'll stick with it. Let me know in the chat if you want me to try and move the scope. I might have to like stop the stream and start again, or if we'll just enjoy the view like this, we can just chat and watch it. Mr. Wonder One says, looks like I'm going to get more than 57. I thought so, but it's going to do this kind of interesting retrograde motion, right? It's going to kind of, the sun is going to keep moving to the right, and the moon is going to move up and to the right as well. So it's going to kind of do this thing where it stays right here and then moves up and kind of does this kind of like little retrograde motion. It's definitely tricksy right now because it looks like it's going to go all the way left, but it's not going to do that. Unfortunately. No, Red Rum, nobody buy anything on Bandcamp, by the way, please. Your presence here is enough. I don't need anybody's money. Thank you, Red Rum, though. It's very kind of you. Just listen to the tunes, and yeah, I hope to, at some point, get back to recording and doing all that stuff. It's been a bit. I don't know if you heard me earlier. I've just been practicing hand drum and live guitar, mostly. Just trying to get good. Trying to get real good. One stoner, three cats, long time. Great to see you. Extra big group hug. Love it. Love it. Love it. Levin says 90% from here. That's awesome. Jedi Knight, 888, what's going on? Hi, Take Back. Nice to see you, Jedi. I hope I caught everybody. If I missed you, drop me another note. I'm a little distracted, as you can tell. Yeah, it definitely looks like a giant fang coming out of darkness. This is a real shot. So I don't know. I mean, maybe I could move the scope down one step and risk it. Shall we risk it? The problem with moving it down is that then the scope has to be pointed more vertically, and I don't think that's going to work. So I'm going to stick with the shot. Let's just do that. Stop whining about it. What other topics would you like me to discuss? I know, you know my typical run-of-the-mill stuff, how the eye works, where memories are stored, where the electricity in the body comes from, what is God, how does consciousness work. Throw me a bone in the chat if you want me to talk about any of those topics. I feel like, because I don't stream as much, I feel like I'm missing out. Or not missing out, I feel like I'm not doing my duty, I guess, to share this type of information over and over like people do. But, you know, the whole point about finding these truths, or at least what I think are the truths, is that it's not for everybody, and it's not a topic that needs to be evangelized over and over again. The true nature of Zen is that everybody's got their own journey, and even if you connect with one person, that's enough. So that's how I feel about it. Yeah, stream is working, leave the scope. I feel that. Jedi says, was here during the 2017 stream, and now on the path of totality. Glad you decided to stream this one too. I'm glad you get to see the full thing. Yeah, 2017 was rad. This one's also rad. It's never bad to connect with our astronomical brethren, family, sisters and brothers, and everyone. Let's see. Good to see you, Stoner. 3 cats. Tana, right? Tana. It's been a while, yep. Let's see. Think for yourself says perspective, personal dome of vision, which appears... Perspective, personal dome of vision, which appears to be 3959, by the way. Walter Bisling's model explains perspective. That's interesting. What's the 3959? Elaborate. So for me, it's like there's this really fundamental part of optics which is never talked about, which is the fact that our eyes and the human body radiates radiates energy. You could call it photonic radiation, but just we radiate energy into the field. And if you don't like the field, we can replace the field with air or the environment around us. And so if you take it further, our human eyes radiate energy into the field. So it's not, first of all, it's not no energy, it does radiate. And it radiates outside of the eyeball into the field. And so if you take that and you realize that everything is radiating, then our consciousness is entanglement between our radiation and radiation coming to us. And right now, if you look up how the eyes work, it's like sun, the sun fires rays, and these rays bounce off a dog, and then they fall into your eye, and then your eye does all this fancy stuff. And we're missing a huge component, which is the fact that we actually seek. We send out signals from our eyes in this extremely complex cascading fractal geometry, and we derive and tangle these patterns into material. We actually create reality with our eyes. And not just our eyes, our fingers and our senses. Our entire radiation into the field is what creates the reality that we see. So we are the projectors of our own selves, but because we project ourselves and other things project themselves, the entanglement is what we see as seeing things, as matter. And everything outside of that doesn't matter, so to speak, or is not matter. And that's why when people tell me, oh, as a rock is conscious and a dog is conscious and humans conscious, I'm like, no, consciousness is material. Non-consciousness is non-material. And if you just look at it that way, it makes way better sense. It means that anything that you can really sense that's radiating in the field that is created with quantum entanglement or particle entanglement or radiation entanglement is material, is conscious in some form. And things that are non-conscious, the counter space to consciousness, is field. So field against self becomes our interaction that we call consciousness. It's a really simple quantum entanglement way of explaining reality, but it actually adds the observer as a creator instead of the observer as a bucket that collects photonic rays. Astralis, fuck, yeah. Let's see. Whew, it's hot. Let's see. Let me try and adjust this too. Think for yourself, well, it appears that they reverse engineered the globe using our very perspective and the exact... I'll tell you why the they doesn't exist. The they doesn't exist because no system that is above you created your own body. That's the answer to all the conspiracy stuff, good and evil. I even listen to some of these cats who try and, you know, have a lot of good ideas, but they look at the world as in terms of good and evil, like something has to prevail. Good has to prevail or evil has to prevail, instead of looking at it as two sides of the same coin, or even more so kind of this phi ratio of 60-40 kind of ebbing back and forth. And so life oscillates between good and evil, but you can only know good in you know, with a background of evil, and you can only know evil with the background of good, so they necessitate one another. So if you throw out these terms where things are being done to us and there's a nefarious group, yeah, there is, but it's not more powerful than the fact that you made your own body and you made your own eyeballs, and you can create an entire, you know, large language model or more, much more multi-dimensional model of the entire universe as an individual. Each person creates the entire universe. And I can prove it to you by, if you look up at the sky, even if you believe that the sky is fake, whatever you're seeing is you creating that. There's no ulterior group. The system itself enables humans to be godlike. People choose to not see that because that's part of the entire thing of getting lost. We as gods want to forget and not know the truth, which is why you can never have total enlightenment. If you had total enlightenment, nothing would exist. And hence you could also not have total darkness, because you wouldn't know total darkness unless you knew light. And therefore the necessitative nature of one or the other, of one against, of self against other and other against self, necessitates the need for both, and therefore you can't wipe out one or the other. Does that make sense? I mean, I know it's a lot of different levels to that, but that's how I've always really, that's where I got to. I used to be one of those people that thought conspiracies happen to us. Only. There's only powers that be that do conspiracies, but it's actually the bigger conspiracy, quote unquote, is that we tell ourselves that we're so weak and we are the meek. We are so small and insignificant. Think about it. Like, people look at incredible achievements. I saw this, you know, just anecdotally. I saw an image of all the internet cables around the Earth. There's an image that looks like a network. And people are like, look how fragile the Earth is. And I'm like, no, look how powerful it is. Right? Like, people instantly, or not people, but many who are lost in the dream, want to believe that things are happening to us, that we don't have control. And in a sense, what's interesting about the whole thing is that when you get enlightened, you're actually less lost, but you're not playing along with the game. So in a way, the people who are more far out are the people who definitely who buy into the system, who believe that they have no control. It's a very funny, like, oscillating contrast. An oscillating contrast that, if you notice it, you'll see that it's almost like this cascade within culture and mindset and belief in the dream or non-dream. These are all cascading Fibonacci electro etheric cascades, and we're, you know, at least 50% in control, if not a lot more. Did we miss, you guys had totality? I've just been talking over here. I'm sure everyone's like, what are you doing, Eclipse? The difference between good and evil is 50 Shades of Grey. No, that book is just pure evil. I'm just kidding. Stupid joke. Yes. Well, it's not just shades of gray. It's like every single dipole, you know, an entanglement of two particles that creates matter. each dipole has the entire gradation of the universe in it, right? So it's not just 50 shades or 1,000 shades. It's literally every single north to south gradation of electrical current has every single resonance possible within it. It doesn't resonate at every single resonance, but it has the possibility of resonating at every single resonance. Oh, Jesus, really? Is that going to start beeping now? That's my broken goal zero generator that's just beeping now. Mary, I'm so glad you saw Darkness at Midday. That's crazy. Thank you. Think for yourself. All right, I'm going to take a little break here. I'm sure that sounds super annoying. I'm going to put a song and go do something to stop the sound. I'll be back in a couple. Memories of you, always gonna run in like dawn, starlight kind, moonlight shrine, or right side, or light tone, privilege ships in night's crown, fire like trees, chill like smoke, sign a heart inside shell. Where are you? I've been here so round. This all is borrowed. All I know is everything we think about is gold. Electric soul. Every life you come along, locking right in. Oh, every night it comes about, knocking right in. Oh, every life you come along, we'll fit right in. What you say to life completed, don't you sound conceited? This soul is borrowed. All I know is everything we think is out of life completed. I know my secret is so. go. So we're closing in on what will be like the most coverage here in Florida, 57%. This is about 55. So a few minutes away at 3 p.m. we'll get 57. And that looks pretty great. I gotta say, like, seeing a crescent sun engulfed by the moon is just gorgeous. It's like an engulfing candle. We got Bitcoin pumping. We got the chat pumping. Great to see everybody. Like I said, sorry I've been away. You know, I don't stream as much anymore, but I always love to check in with y'all when I can. Thanks for all the great emails and comments. Let's see. Hell yeah, TJ, thank you for the kind words. I'm glad Wilma enjoyed it. Yeah, I took a couple of photos just now, so just make sure you got full screen here. I kind of want to get that sunspot, but it's a little bit tricky. Either way, this is a little bit better. I kind of moved it right to the edge of the staircase, so fingers crossed we're good here. That moon be creeping. Levins Lovato says, totally okay. Where are the aliens? So, yeah, so it's interesting. A quick note about the aliens, because one, yes, people always, like, recently I've been watching a lot of stuff about Fermi paradox, or where are all the aliens, why haven't we met them, or do we really want to meet them? And then you had the whole three-body problem about this invasion, also the possible fake invasion, or whatever. But I still think that the fact that we create our own bodies, which means we are in essence a fractal version of the ultimate whole, would present the case in a way where, one, we'd understand what aliens looked like. There is no structure in the universe that we perceive that we do not understand. And I know that people say, oh, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? But I really think that as soon as things materialize in our reality, it means that your system, your eyeballs, or your whole energetic system has actually reached out into the field and created these objects in real time. And you're not creating the moon. You're creating a version of the existing moon that's based on the way you vibrate. And the reason I know this for sure, is because it seems to me the most reasonable explanation for how you can have billions of people that look identical but are slightly different. And no science never talks about this almost at all, the shape of the human body, and the reason we have total similarity in these massive chunks and then tiny dissimilarity. And you could flip it on its head. You could say, you could take it any which way, but that's how I look at it. So humans are basically identical, but we vibrate a little bit differently. And therefore, we're able to have entirely unique experiences. And which means if we vibrate a tiny bit differently, we have eyes that create matter. But because we vibrate a little differently, the eyes create matter, which means we have our own way of seeing things. That's why we can both agree that a pencil is a pencil, but we all perceive the pencil slightly differently. Right? It's not one or the other. It's not everybody's got their own perspective on things and nothing else. No, everybody's got the same perspective on things, but it's a little bit different. That's the biggest proof, because that's the reality. There's no mathematics necessary. There's no politics necessary. It's just the case. How do you explain the shape of the human body? And all creatures, for example, and all planets and systems, why do they all look like a point with a torus, a donut around it? And in the middle of this donut, there's this kind of pinched wormhole shape. Shape of the atom, shape of the human, shape of the earth, shape of the galaxy, shape of the sun, etc. It's just, that's what it does. And so are we going to say, oh, I see it, but I don't believe my own eyes. You know? What it is. In people, the only way they could all be the same and a little bit different is that if we are the same and a little bit different. It's a self-fulfilling concept. I'm just going to read some stuff here. Anyway, so I think there may be aliens, like, but I think they're so much like they would be people. They would or creatures and have the same types of risk on, risk off rewards here. If you take a swath of 100 people, it seems like, maybe I'm wrong, but 90% of those people are going to try and function at some sort of neutral capacity. And then you're going to have a small percentage of that 100 people, 5 of them may be jobs, 5 of them may be saviors. Markets, macroeconomics, distance, geometry, academia, music, you name it, exists, like small against large, but both necessitating each other. All right, so now we're getting the real, the real nice shot, and let's see. What's going to be fun is in about an hour we can scrub, or at least I won't scrub, but later on we can scrub through the footage and see how the moon actually is now moving left, and now it's going to start moving up and to the right while the sun is also moving to the right. So I think we're basically at totality for Florida. I mean 57% partial totality. And just take another snapshot. Everybody's out for. Even was real space footage, talking to real people, connecting. That was it. It was never about to huge channel or people. For me, this was if I do document memory is stored in the field, actually use AI to. I'll never do AI space footage, but I have considered doing some of the 3D stuff using AI when the tools are better, so that I can actually, as one, all these different things of everything videos. On where the electricity and things look the way they do. Why creatures have 2 eyes and not, 1 or 5. So. This hue is amazing. I mean, we do have that sunspot right there. Maybe I'll just zoom in for a moment so we can see it a bit better. Cool. More of these things. Just to say something, like Rupert Sheldrake talks about, perhaps the sun is conscious. No, the sun is definitely conscious. It's just that kind of unwillingness, again, to kind of say anything firm. but yeah. Why wouldn't the sun be consciousness. It makes more sense that everything we see resonates. And if it's resonating, then we can deem consciousness entangled resonance. Simple. I don't know what has to be these things where it's like, let's entertain all these fluffy ideas and never come to any solid conclusions. Fluffy fluff. It's better with the spot, right? It's super cool. All right, I'm gonna go get myself a coffee. I'm gonna play a song and I'll be back. I'll let this shot hang out for a bit. What song should I play here? Ellie and the cat. Back here. So a little cactus dance to jam it out. I'm loving we're seeing a lot of the granularity, even though of course I don't have filters. I have this filter on and we're seeing awesome granularity to the you can see the sunspots around it. So really like that. Just checking out the comments here. Z says AI chatbot for summary stream. To be honest, I really have thought about it a lot because hey, I go through all 700 videos and pick out a sentence video to publish, right? That sounds like a very good use case. I haven't done that. As I said, I definitely let you all know. I really am not nervous. I just don't. I kind of feel very organic and analog about TakeBackSpace. Like I want it to be. I always wanted it to just be telescope camera stream and then talk or music. You know, like really simple. Into the AI stuff, and you never know. So just be wary if I put out AI stuff without context. That I just won't do something like that. But I don't dismiss it as a bad idea. It's actually kind of an interesting idea. Let's see. What else? Burb still chirping here. I see that. Ready to Hit says, when can we see Jupiters, bro? Honestly, I think Jupiter is, unfortunately not, like, I feel like if we had totality, maybe, but not going to be able to see it with the filter, and two, I don't even have my tracking. Literally, I track this manually because this is not a solar scope. So yeah, Jupiter's some other night, maybe. And again, I haven't actually tracked Jupiter in like a few months, so I'm not sure where we are in the cycle. Could be a bit, but you know, we love the Jupes. Cosmic says, all life has to be conscious or it wouldn't exist. That's it. I mean, like, again, nothing is 100%, but it seems to me that we do, you know, scientists and academia does this thing where it's like, things are conscious and some things are less conscious than others. Okay. But then they get into these things where they're like, things that are fabricated. I'll give you an example, like even Rupert, who I love, Rupert Sheldrake, you know, but he will go into the idea that because we made computers and we fabricated chairs, that they're not really conscious, so to speak. And I'm like, that doesn't make a lot of sense, because the chair knows that if you sit on it, that you shouldn't fall through. And a computer might not think for itself, but it definitely knows that it's interacting with you because there's a reaction. As long as there's a reaction, an action and a reaction in the field, I would consider that consciousness. I don't see why we need to slice it up into these things where it's like only human level consciousness is consciousness. But then you wouldn't see anything. You wouldn't see a rock or a table or a telescope or the sun, because the very fact that things resonate into material reality is pure consciousness. You could say that we live in a field, which is, it's all consciousness and matter arises from that. That's another matter, non-matter. Space, anti-space, counter-space. But principally, if we took it in a more simplistic way, we could just look at plants, animals, rocks, chairs, computers as different frequencies of consciousness, as opposed to this consciousness is small and this is big. Like, I'll give you another example. Like, gosh, also look at this beautiful occultation of the sunspots. Let's get in here. This is a one-of-a-kind shot. Look at that. Wow. Gorgeous. Again, they say these things like, I asked a large language model once. A large language model walks into a bar. I asked a large language model a couple of days ago. I said, well, you know, does the human eye radiate energy? And it's like, yes, but it's so little energy that it's negligible. And I'm like, why does science present these ideas as negligible? Why would you ever compare the radiation of the field of an eyeball with the strength of the Earth's magnetic field? It's like, yes, humans emit radiation, but so much less than the sun. And I'm like, what kind of comparison is that? Like, it's just such a weird way of phrasing it. I think the more important thing is, yes, human bodies radiate into the field. That's it, period. Then move on from there. This idea that, oh, it has a magnetic field, but it's so weak. The moon's magnetic field's so weak. I'm like, that's not the point. The point is the moon has a magnetic field. No, it has one, but it's so little, it's insignificant. I'm like, but it has one. Yes, but it's compared to the Earth. I'm like, sorry, I know that's annoying, but you know what I'm saying? They do this with everything. Oh, humans are super smart, but we're so fragile. Humans are but so dumb. And I'm like, how about just saying one, ooh, look at this. That's cool. Do you see that? Do you see the little, like, black nub? There's like a little black nub right there going into the sunspot. It's just it's probably just refraction, but that's cool. I imagine it's just refract, right? It's just a refractive index thing, but you can kind of see the little. Red Rum says, I think we have consciousness while animals and plants are instincts. But, you know, Red Rum, I always, obviously, my opinion on it, but like, how do you what is instinct? Go and look that up, not look it up, but like describe what instinct is, and you'll end up in the same place. You'll get to its genetic code, its environmental reasons, its no one will ever really say what I'm saying. I haven't heard anyone really say what I'm saying. Some people try sort of say it, but they don't. They think that humans are basically a bucket. We're just a bucket. Things fall into humans, and that's how we experience life. But humans are actively creating reality. And not just humans. Every entity on Earth creates its own field. That's the whole point. That's how it exists. The existence is self against field. So while a chair is not going to go and make you dinner, the chair does know that it shouldn't fall apart when you sit on it. So the chair is absolutely conscious. And a dog is absolutely conscious in its way. And animals do speak. And animals get along with each other. Different species get along with each other. Like, if we just looked at nature, we would understand human life. But people tend to want to be better and bigger than nature and smarter than nature. But why? We are nature. I feel like I'm ranting a little bit. Forgive me. Like a hill or a tower, right? It's lost now, but that was super interesting. It felt like it could have been maybe a refractive effect. Yeah, getting a little bit of overlit. What's going on? So I guess we lost the sunspot here. There we go. See what happened? So now it's less. Now it's actually, now the moon and the sun are moving in the same direction at slightly different speeds because of parallax. Well, not because of parallax. It'll look like there's parallax because they're moving that way. Solar nipple slip. That's funny, TJ. Ellie Wynn says, simplicity is sane. I dig that. Simplicity is sane. Space is awesome. Let's see, what else? That nub looked so strange, right? I see some buffering might be happening, so bear with me. That was really cool. That was an interesting thing. I don't know exactly what was happening. It seems to me that because of the way the camera was receiving the light, we were getting like a refractive glitch, but it looked very, very cool. I hope it doesn't look too bad. The connection's just acting a little funky here, but it's not too bad. Just reading some of the chat here. Red Rum says, true apes can do sign language. Shit, they've been noticing bears watching the sunset. Yeah, well, let me make a point here. Hopefully the connection will return. Why did it just dip out entirely? There we go, coming back. What I was going to say is that, hopefully I'm coming through, is that animals are learning from humans now, right? Like, we're getting to a place where animals are so, there are so many people, and people talk to animals now, and animals are learning to be more and more like humans. And I think it's just kind of taken in stride. People are like, oh, that's pretty, that's such a coincidence, but it's like, it's crazy, it's true. And eventually AI will allow us to interface with animals. And it's one of those things that's quite funny, because people say that it's a little bit like the alien thing. That they're like, are you sure you want to meet aliens? Because if you meet them, they could be bad. And that's what people say about talking to animals. They're like, would you want to really hear what a dolphin has to say? It's probably terrible. Again, it's this weird hedge. It's so bearish, if I want to say it. Like, science is so bearish. But yeah, I think it's way more fascinating that animals are behaving a lot more like humans. I know that it's buffering pretty badly. I don't know what happened here. Get this working again. So funny. No buffering. Okay, I don't know. I'm getting all the like red signals and yellow bars on YouTube, so I'm just making sure. Okay, that's good. Ready to Hit says, I got the scars to prove it. You don't want to meet aliens. Well, it really depends, right? Which aliens are we talking about? I'm not saying all aliens are good. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that nobody talks about the potential upside to it. They always talk about the downside. It's just so tiresome to me. But if you had an experience that was painful, I would definitely not making light of that. That's horrible. Oh my God. Again, I'm not sure, like, what kind of forces we've had on Earth, right? Like things that could, I don't know. It's a much darker kind of rabbit hole. Yeah, see, the connection looks like it's just being funny here. So sorry, Reddy. It's pretty awful. I'm just reading some more of the comments here. Ellie Wynn says, I ain't your bucket. Right? I mean, what do you think of that bucket thing, right? It's always like humans just are sitting there and light falls into our eyes and things come at us and things are happening to us. And nobody says humans create most of this and do pretty much everything. And here's the physics behind it, you know? Z-Proxy says, still waiting for TakeBackSpace to film Sirius at 120 FPS. We did that once, or whatever, 60 frames per second. It's like, you know what stars look like. They basically all pretty much look the same. Points of extremely hot hydrogen, you know, if you, Z-Proxy, I don't know if you remember when I've talked about Jeffrey Walensky and Jeffrey's take on stellar metamorphosis. And I really think that that's the case. So if all planets used to be stars, then early stars are hot, radiating, you know, I guess they would oscillate through all the different colors. It's like when we zoom into these stars, we get that kind of oscillating, vibrating, just complete spectrum of colors. And that's because essentially the heat and the radiation coming off of these stars messes with, like, creates oscillating gradients on the spectrum, on the sensor of the camera. That's how I think it works. I think we get these waves of oscillations, frequency coming from the stars, but going through not only the atmosphere and space and all this stuff, so you get tons of different interference of these wave vibrations, which is what that kind of flickering is, as well as our atmospheric and chromatic aberration, all these different reasons. Yeah, it looks like this stream is kind of just getting buggy. I'm not sure what's up with it. Yeah. I'm just typing because I'm not sure you're hearing me. It just literally is not coming back on. I'm going to try and put on a song here for a second. I'm going to mess with the connection, see if I can't figure it out. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Yeah, it looks like it's back. It was just red for like a solid, I don't know, 5 minutes. Now it's back to being green, 28K up. So hopefully it'll adjust in a moment. Yeah, look at that. The moon is now regressing. It's, like I said, it's retrograde. So now sun and moon are both moving towards the west, southwest. Ready to hit says, give the monitor a shake like the old days. I did that with the modem. I was like, let me shake the modem a little bit. What's going on here? Plug it, unplug it. Yeah, so like I was saying, all the stars, like you were saying, at 120 frames per second, I don't know. Soon it'll be very easy to do 120 FPS and stream that. Right now it's still annoying to do that. Partially why I haven't done it over the years. Why change perfection? So funny. There we go. Now we're back. That warning was really super annoying. Mary says, is your connection off? Eclipse at work on your electronics at Mercury Retro? I don't know. It literally just dipped out like hard. And then now it's back. Yeah, maybe all the streamers or whatever. Hoo-wee. I'm pretty hot right here. Feeling good though. I'm glad I did this today. And that we're able to see all of it. Let's see what's going on with these sunspots, because they're probably coming back. Damn, all these trails. Jeez. They don't make trails like they used to. Alright, so I don't know, I'll go for another, yeah, I'll go for as long as I can here. Throw me some comments in the chat, let me know how you're feeling. What other topics haven't I talked about in a while? I feel like, yeah, Jeffrey Walensky has 782 followers. Check out Jeffrey Walensky if you haven't. Stellar Metamorphosis. It makes so much more sense that planets were stars at one point. Or that planets are cooked in the center of stars, as opposed to stars are one thing at the center of active galactic nuclei, and planets and moons come together by like lumps of hot plasma come together and create an Earth. It makes literally no sense. Absolutely no sense. Memory? Where does memory reside? It's not in the synapses of your brain. I see not in the synapses of your brain, not inside your skull. It would make way more sense if we had this etheric field where we store our collective resonance or memory. And that makes way more sense. That's how we carry around our memory with us, with a field, not inside the human body, or not only inside the human body. Never see that. You look it up online, you're like, hey, where is memory stored? Oh, well, inside the synapses, when the synapses do, inside the skull, inside the brain, inside the mind. I'm like, but we radiate into the field. What's that? That's been unsubstantiated. I'm like, okay, well. Z-Proxy says, nah, you have to record at 120, but for YouTube, you have to slow down to 60. Well, yeah, like I said, I'll show you 120 FPS at some point. I will. Mr. One-to-One, so Jesus didn't return and Doomsday is postponed yet again. Yeah, come on. Come on. A lot of people disagree with you, Mr. One-to-One, but yeah. Much more fun to just enjoy the eclipse, right? And recognize our connection with our conscious soul. And, yeah. Spread good vibes. Thank you, Mary. It's wonderful to see you. I'm so glad. Also, I know I just haven't been kind of engaging, but I know some of you all have seen Totality, and that must have been amazing. So I'm super happy for everyone who saw it in IRL. I actually haven't even stepped outside to look at it, but it stayed sunny this whole time pretty much. Wow, that looks like it's quickly moving. Dang. Now we're back to like 35%-ish. Any other topics, y'all, that I haven't talked about in a while? Any videos that you've seen that were interesting? I did see something interesting yesterday. I saw a debate with this cat, Eric Weinstein. I know some people have heard of him, but he had a great point. He said he was talking to a debunker, and he's like, I'm sick of this whole idea that people just instantly come on board and they just want to debunk people who think different ideas. And so it was neat to see somebody like him, who's part of the status quo to some degree, speak out in favor of just questioning science, even if it sounds wacko. And he really took this guy to task. It was Matt something and Eric Weinstein on the Kurt Jaimungal Toe Theory of Everything podcast. But I don't know. I'm always a little too judgy when I listen to these talks, because they spend 3 hours and they get nowhere. They never consider, mixing and matching topics like Rupert Sheldrake, like Thunderbolts Project, like Hans Alfvén, or any of these ideas. No, even to debunk, again, debunking is stupid, but even to just cross-reference Ralph Jurgen's work on the moon, or Hans Alfvén waves, or just any number of topics that are just dismissed in lieu of talking for 3 hours and not saying anything. So I'm pretty judgy, I gotta say. Mr. Wonder One says, brains are Ariel's new thought. Brains are Ariel's new thought paths are tuned to receive the new memory like a TV aerial picking up a different broadcast. So that's a great statement. However, I would say that it also that idea falls under a little bit of our older notions, where again humans are kind of this receiver. We don't do much. We just pick up the world and thing, and we just pick up the world as a receiver, and we don't have a say in it really. We're fed signals, and that's what we deal with. But what I've been saying actually is much more that it's a dance between the receiver and the broadcast, right? So yes, there's a cast of characters in this world that bestows their projections upon us, but we can only see those projections because we actually create those images with our own bodies. So we radiate into the field, and we quantum entangle with other projections. And so nothing is done, so we're not just a receiver, we're an active co-creator, I would say. Let's see. Mary White says, Alpha Vedic had a guest on recently on your fave topic, and he lives in Tampa as well. My favorite topic, Alpha Vedic. I don't know, why is that? Explain more, Mary, please. Cosmic says, Z-Proxy says, Crow is filming too, I wonder. Is he also seeing the special Other Sun right now? I don't know, you know what I mean? I think y'all have stuck with me for all these years. You know that, what I think about all that stuff. There's no reason to create other things, like another sun, or aliens, or projections from the North Pole, or these extra things, because the things that we already have that are amazing are far more interesting than any of those conspiracies. Partially why it, is a great litmus test for conspiracies. Because when you think about that, you're like, wait, how do the eyes work? Where do I store memory? That, to me, way more interesting than a third sun, or Nibiru, or Anunnaki, or any concept, any theory. There's literally no theory that's more interesting than the fact that the human body creates the image of the moon. We shoot energy beams out of our eyes and entangle with the moon's projection and create a material image out of etheric light into matter. We're literally super gods, and people are like, oh, third sun, wake up, sheeple. And I'm like, are you kidding me? How is that more exciting and interesting than the fact that we're already super gods? that can make eyeballs. Even the dumbest person can make their own eyeballs and their own brain. The most evil person can make their own eyeballs. And like an animal that you deem stupid makes its own eyeballs, its own stomach, it puts everything in the correct place, it splits its DNA, it folds its own proteins. And yet, no, we live in a reality where, you know, the proteins fold themselves, DNA split themselves, you know what I mean? Red blood cells, they do their own thing. And I'm like, no, the dumb squirrel made its own brain and its own eyeballs, and that to me is 1,000 times more impressive than a third sun or aliens on the moon, like trillion times more interesting. What do you think of that? Let's see. Mr. Wonder One says, we make the memory, but our brain tune in to receive them. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that the electricity in the body radiates into the field. That radiation is basically ignored in terms of our current understanding of things. But if you don't ignore it, then you realize that this radiation that the human body radiates, whether you believe it's an aura, or whether you believe it's a plasma field or electrical magnetic field, obviously an EKG picks it up. So I think that it's really simple. We create the reality around us. Mary Clay says the ether in our functional realm with Austin would sit in Alpha Vedic. I'll have to check that. The names look, the whole name, the Alpha Vedic sounds familiar. I must have seen that channel. And then, yeah, I guess I definitely checked in yesterday a little bit on the Dan Winter, science / ufology side, which I don't check in on a lot, but once in a while. And I love what Dan Winter says about science, but I can't get on board with the Galactic Federation, Confederation thing. Simply because I think people also, like, who are saying the Galactic Confederation and Federation don't know the meaning of the word, because Confederation is voluntary and Federation is involuntary, and it's being used incorrectly, I think. Also, there's absolutely no proof that anyone can teleport. It's just no proof. And I thought about it scientifically too, not just because I want to have a bias, but because think about teleportation, right? It's not, the thing is, the reason people think that there's teleportation and time travel is because they think that the entire human body is just the body. It's packed within the framework of the human skin and skeleton, right? But the fact of the matter is that we have a field that's 30 foot wide. Like, so the human body is a giant organism with a huge etheric plasma bubble and information and energy, right? So teleporting the entire structure of one's own existence doesn't seem as feasible as transporting just the body. There would be no life and no existence without the field. So I feel like we're tied, like, it's like, I don't know. I feel like we're hairs on Earth. And if you pluck a hair out, it's done. You're not going to pluck a hair and plug it back into another planet. I don't know. I just don't buy it. But I could be wrong. Let's see. Just going through a couple of these comments here. Maybe, yeah, let's see where we are in this eclipse. So I'm starting to lose the view, y'all. I think this might be kind of where I start to, like, allow it to drift. I'm not going to move the scope anymore. So I think we got a little bit longer here. And once I lose the view, I'm going to call it a day and go take a shower. Freaking hot as hell right here. Cool. All right, let's play a song here. I'm going to stretch. Maybe have a cigarette. Back in a couple of moments. Put some willpower. Shout outs to all the space fan that's not here if you're catching this in the future. Hope you're all doing well.
Do you know I've been beaten from the heart. I know, no lie. I've been thinking about you all night. Why? No should be mine. So call me up, 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 and let's get down, 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 down. So call me up, 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 and let's get down, 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 down. Oh, you send me messages across the cosmic network, and you send me pictures from across the astral plane, and you send me cryptic kisses across the matching network. So call me up, 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 and let's get down, 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 down. So call me up, 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 and let's get down, 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 down. Somebody, somebody. Je t'attends, l'amour incertuel, ainsi l'amour que la même si même, agitant la éternelle, avec Roland son billet. Je suis la même, t'en avons l'aimé chaque jour. Je t'attends, mon amour, avec les mecs sans agréé. C'est mon homme magnétique, c'est l'amour magnétique, c'est mon amour magnifique. Cool running.
Alright, y'all. Sorry for all the panting. I'm just like very, very hot right now. But check this out. Little sunspot peeking out from where the moon is moving. The occultation is moving out. So we get this last little killer shot right here as the sunspot reemerges from behind the Luna. Very, very cool shot. Whew. This is a good stream, everybody. So nice to see y'all. Thanks for your patience with me as I, take some time off streaming. Thanks for always being here when I do come back on. So, y'all are awesome, and I hope you had a wonderful time today. I'll be back, I don't know, sometime soon. I hope when I have a really nice shot of the moon, I'll just pop back on and we'll jam like old times. Share this video, share some of the thoughts, leave me a comment. I really read everybody. Sometimes I don't answer, but it's because, like, I don't know, I'm weird like that. But I really appreciate everybody's interactions. Shouting out everybody in the chat. I think I'm going to call it here. The next, 5 minutes, let it fade out. I'm pretty exhausted, I'll be honest, after just racing to get everything ready, and then I haven't streamed in a while, so yeah, look at that. We got our sunspot, we got our fading out moon and sun, we got a good market today. We're going to talk about a lot of theories, play some tunes, finish out with maybe a little bit more of this hand drum. God, Mary, you got it. Natalia, my God, her new record. Just talk about an artist that nobody knows about, yet she's extremely famous at the same time. But Natalia Lafourcade, if people haven't listened to her records, the old records, the new one, the videos, Natalia, #1. Thank you, Mary, for that great recommendation. Great, great, great lady. Did we freeze? Did it freeze? No. We still here. We still here, Scope. Stay with me. Couple more. Pop, pop, pop. Pop, pop, pop. And let's get down, 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 down. Yo, down, down, down. So call me up, up, up. Up, up, up. Up, up, up. And let's get down, 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 down. Yo, down, down, down. So I have been thinking about maybe getting another hand drum that's tuned slightly differently, so each of them has their own tunings, because I realized like you can actually start to do all these different things by having 2 of these drums in different scales and create like a bass line and a lead. Yeah, I appreciate that, Cosmic. Thank you for all the kind words, everybody, seriously. I don't know how to take compliments very well, but I really do appreciate all of them. I hope I don't sound insincere when I say thank you. It's just like I'm one of those weirdos. Look at that sunspot. Just amazing. All right. Hopefully next time I'll be even better at this drum. It's such a great reco. Again, whoever recommended it, thank you. Wow. What a crazy Monday. It is a Monday, right? Le Monde. Le Lunde. Awesome, my friends. So I'll catch you really soon. I'm going to let this drift out and put a song on for old times. What that's going to be, we shall see. Is it an uplifting one or a mopey kind of song? Let's see. Maybe it is a fun song. Alright, y'all, this is your captain signing off on another amazing space stream. I really appreciate y'all, and I'll catch you very, very soon. Stay safe, wise, and brilliant. Bye.
Find its way into the hard dry stone. Bring the wine, tell it the time until the twilight's gone. You're where fears, and just with like fool chairs, just with up fool chairs. Their minds separate with simple lips. Something of their wild separation where sin wild somewhere else. Look at the wall, it's a big attraction. Look at the wall, it's a get it, separation. The night is on, found its way into the hot rock star. It's fine, favorite wine, into the time until the twilight are gone. Well,
Right now on Morning News Now, shrouded in darkness, millions of people across 3 countries in North America are preparing to witness the first total solar eclipse in 7 years as the moon moves between the sun and the earth, temporarily blocking out the light. Mexico's Pacific coast will be the first to see the eclipse before it moves north through parts of the United States and Canada. While most cities on the eclipse's path